Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are starting one of two new series. It is going to be $50 Card Fridays. That is basically where we take a certain era. So this video is going to be nothing but Scarlet and Violet. Next video we're going to go to probably Sword and Shield, and we're going to keep going down and down. But we're going to look over the market and basically just find the best cards, in my opinion, to pick up that are under 50. We are also going to start a new series on every Tuesday for $20 card Tuesdays. So every card under 20 that you should pick up. If you guys don't know, I do a lot of vending and card shows. That's why I wanted to start this series, to help you guys kind of look out and show you what I'm looking for when people stop by the booth, to either sell, trade, that kind of stuff. So as you can see on the screen, like I said, we're starting with Scarlet and Violet. Um, it's very simple. There's really only, I think, four cards in Scarlet and Violet. It's going to be Ralts, Curlia, and Gardevoir. As you can see, the latest, oh, those are Japanese. So latest right now is around 23. I mean, if you click on recent sales, you can see there's an outlier about 45. So you got just around 30. I think it's actually one of the better trios, just with all the cards. Well, I shouldn't say lining up, but showing a progression as they evolve. With the mom and the kid and the baby, and then to younger kid. Then we move to obviously Courier. When we go to view more data, same thing. We're right around that 25, so it's gonna be a little less than Ralts. And then obviously, if you guys haven't seen, Gardevoir is absolutely going insane right now. Um, which you'll find some outliers like this near mint where it's going to be, a lot cheaper than normal. But I mean, look at this. You got 47, 47, 48, 47, couple 53s, a 70, a 65. Um, but I mean, in my opinion, other than Miriam, which is the next card that we're going to be talking about, I think it's one of the best artworks, other than like Jock and a couple of the other SIRs, but those are still cheap. Scarlet and Violet's finally starting to get the recognitions for what they deserve. So yeah, let's move on to the next set, to Paldea. Oh, sorry, nope, not yet. Miriam. It would be the last one in Scarlet and Violet that I would pick up. Obviously, you know me with Pikachu. I collect every Pikachu card, and well, in English, and cards that have Pikachu in the background, which it does here. But again, it's one of the most beautiful artworks, I think, as well. And then when we jump into the data, you're looking at around, I would say, 30 to 35 ish. Yeah, 30, 35, which is pretty fine. It has dropped a lot, but that's going to happen with trainers. We all know that. Now we move to Paldea. Um, we're moving up to Raichu. Raichu, this card has increased so much in the last couple of months. Um, I mean, okay. Apparently the prices aren't gonna. Why are the prices not showing up now? Um, let's just do near mint. I don't. All of a sudden, prices aren't going to show up, but yeah, it's just under 60 right now. If I were you guys, I would pick up Raichu for sure. It's one of those ones where it's just going to keep going up. Especially being in Paldea, everybody has seen Paldea just keep shooting up in price too. With the next one that we're talking about, which is Tyranitar. I've started to pick up a bunch of these as well. They're starting to taper off, I will admit. Um, they dropped down a little bit. It was at 50. I would say it's more comfortably around 45 right now. Um, and I've been picking them up kind of left and right. I think I got two of them right now in the binder. in the sale binder. But yeah, next one. This is kind of a sleeper pick. Um, it is Meryl from Paldea Evolve. It has definitely jumped up in price. I'm not sure if it has to do with playability, but I don't think it does because it's only healed 20 to itself. Um, but I know this in a 10, it's even higher up there. But yeah, I mean, you're looking right around 35. This is one of the cards that I would say is a sleeper pick. Um, yes, there is a Zard on here. This is another kind of, I would say, sleeper pick. I mean, with Obsidian Flames, there's only a few cards. Um, there's Ninetales, which is just under 20, which we'll cover in Tuesday, unless if Ninetales shoots through the moon again. Otherwise, it's Charizard. Um, Plain and simple, there's really no other cards in Obsidian Flames. I mean, there is, but not in the range that we're talking about. Charizard EX, the regular SIR, that's already jumped up to, I think, 70 now. So realistically, I would maybe get a few. I wouldn't go too crazy. I mean, it is a Zard. It is going to keep going up. Um, but this might surprise some people. Um, so Giovanni, huge price increase in the last couple of weeks. Um, it's gone up from what, like 15? I think it was just like 12 or 15 last weekend. And now you're looking at $40, which is insane. Um, that was just in a week, but I think it has to do with Team Rocket, the set coming out. I think that's why there's going to be a huge increase, which I would suggest highly to grab these. I would grab the full art Giovanni's. I would say anything with Team Rocket, I would start to grab. Those prices are going to start to shoot up, and maybe you'll catch that high wave for a quick flip, or it'll just help increase your investment overall. Um, Another one, Alakazam, I think is honestly one of the best illustration rares that you can get. Um, that's just my opinion. Yes, Alakazam is one of my top five Pokemon, but overall, um, I mean, you just can't beat it, really. And I know this card in a 10, I believe, is around 170 ish right now, 170 and climbing, close to 2. Um, and again, this is starting to push 50. You'll see some sales 53, 50, 55, but you're still right around that 48. I would say I would pick these up. Even with Lumen Waters coming out in the next week or two, I would pick them up. Um, Plain and simple, starters. Bulbasaur, I would grab a few copies. This is still under 50. I would pick up a Squirtle. Squirtle is still under 50. And then the last one, Charmander, it has shot up. You can still find some copies under 50. It's crept just over 50. But yeah, I mean, it's still doable to find it around 50. So, I mean, if you're at a card show, might be able to talk them down to 50. But in general, 151 is going to keep going up and up. I would pick up starters, 100%. One that a lot of people should be talking about is Altaria. Yes, it's partially playable with the May heal 20 damage of each of your Pokemon, but just in general, the artwork. It's one of my favorites from Paradox, and you'll see the huge climb right here. It has hovered around that 30 to 35 mark. I would say, yeah, since November. Yeah, since about November, it's hovered around there. It stayed consistently over 20. There was a small dip right here where it was over 30, dropped all the way down to about 25, and now it's on the rise again. Um, Let me click up here, but yeah, it is just under 50. So if I were you guys, I would pick some up. Plus, I would get it graded too. That's another solid card to have. Um, Another one, Roaring Moon. I know it is pushing just over, and I think it's showing right now that it's kind of at a peak. Obviously, it was really high back in August because it was being released, plus being playable. Huge dip. Could have probably picked it up around 47. Now it's on the rise again. Again, it's one of those cards where it is up there. It's in closer to 60 range. But every now and then you'll find a cheaper sale where you can pick it up. Even as a lightly played, I would say to pick one up still. Plus, it's just one of a beautiful artwork. You got all the Scream Tails in it, and a few others in there. Now, this one for me is definitely a sleeper pick. Some people might not agree, but for me, um, oops, there we go. It's the Garchomp EX. Some people might call me crazy, but to me, it's one of those cards where I'll probably pick up 4 or 5 of them. Other than, yes, I will flip them or sell them, but Garchomp being one of my top, I am going to pick it. Being Paradox Rift, that comfortable zone where now's the time to start kind of investing in some of the lower ones. And I'm thinking Garchomp is going to take a little hike here. I feel like it's on the rise, but that's just me. It's hovering right around 30. Um, I mean, if you look at the 6 months, it is right around 15, and it's just going to keep going up and up. And I think it's just going to honestly keep going farther and farther. Um, Obviously, you guys know me. Paldean Fates is really hard. I was going to say Gardevoir, but within the last, I think, month, that shot up to 70. So there really isn't cards between that or after that $20 range to the 50. The only one realistically would be Pikachu. Um, I will. I wouldn't even suggest Iono. I mean, if you want to pick up a few copies, cool. But Iono's actually has kept going down. I know when I pulled probably 3, 4 about 2, 3 months ago, they were around 34, 35. Now it's sitting comfortably at around 21. So I'd be careful with Iono, but Pikachu, it is actually one of the harder shinies to pull in Paldean Fates. And obviously, Pikachu being one of the top Pokemon, it's gonna keep going up. Um, I'll get you some listings here. And I mean, it's been hovering around, I would say that 35, 40 range. I know I just picked one up for, I think, 30 last month. Yeah, I believe it was around 30 last month. So you got some outliers that are around 45, 40. Um, but here, I'll show you 6 months. It was at 30, took a huge dip. Now it's all the way back up. And honestly, I think it's going to keep going up with Paldean Fates being a special set and starting to become less and less available. So now we're going to move to Temporal Forces. I think we're down to our last 10-ish Pokemon, maybe 12. But there's not really too many in that $50 range. I think I have 3 or 4. Iron Leaves being one of the last SIRs that you can get under 40, or sorry, under 50, which I just picked one up. Um, yes, you can see there is a huge dip here. I believe it because it was playable. I mean, it was 30 at one point, shot up to 40, then it came back down to 32. Um, I think recently, yeah, recently it's starting to climb up just a touch again. But it realistically, you should be able to get it for 30. I've noticed that. I've said realistically so many different times already. But Iron Leaves is one of the last SIRs of the big 4 that you can get. Obviously, the next one is Gouging Fire, which to me, honestly, is a sweet, sweet artwork. The more that you look at it being in the jungle, that's pretty sweet. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of the futuristic, the ancient, but I will say for Entei, it was kind of a nice little change up for him. Again, I don't know why it's doing where it's not showing the price on that one, but last time I looked, you still should be able to get gouging under 50 or right around 50. Should probably be able to talk some guys down. But for me, it's another SIR that I would definitely pick up. Morty's Conviction. This is another kind of more my opinion, just because Gengar's in there. Um, but out of all the trainers, I think Morty to me was probably one of the hardest ones to pull. And then the recent reprint, there's a lot more of them, but obviously you can see it's back up on the rise again. I think at one point it was down to 30, and now you're seeing it climb up again to where, I would say average wise probably is around 40 comfortably, with some sales being around 45, 47. I would still say comfortably you should be able to get it around 40. And then the last one, Ghastly. Such a beautiful artwork, having all of them in the background. And again, this is just me personally, because of Gengar being one of my favorites. I think this actually might go up when Team Rocket comes out. Just being with Meowth in there, some of the more dark Pokemon, I think it would pop up, but also because it's a very hard card to grade too. Um, this has comfortably been, I want to say, 20 plus, yeah, for over 6 months, and it's just going to keep going on the rise. Um, yeah, I mean, look at it, just now touching 50, might be able to get some just under it, but yeah, right at 50. Um, and then Twilight Masquerade. This kind of was the only one that I had. Um, I thought maybe like Lana's Aid, but I don't know. A lot of trainers don't really hold value that often in the end. It takes more and more years, so it might be the big time to pick up some of those. But Blood Moon is the last SIR that is under that, where you can still get it under 50. Um, Although it has tanked really hard. So typically, when you see a huge drop like this in over 6 months, it should start leveling out. I would say, what do we got at? Comfortably around 35. It may go as low as 30. But yeah, I would probably pick up a few, especially if you can get a graded and a 10. Now would be the time to do it. Um, I see this card starting to rise again and go even higher. So, and the one card that was really going to be on there, but then I just looked today. I literally made the list today, and not more than 2 hours later, this card shot up to 71, being Persian. Which again, with Team Rocket coming out, I think that could be a huge reason for it. Um, Maybe it's the playable aspect too. I haven't kept up with that in a little while, but yeah, I mean, it was insane. Not more than 3 hours after I did my list, all of a sudden you got 70. Look at that. It was insane, but that's okay. So that one technically doesn't fit the list, but the last one for Shroud. Well, no, I think, yeah, there's a few for Shrouded. I think Cassiopeia. This would probably be the time to do it. This was the main card that everybody was looking for, with cute Sylveon in the back. But I know Houndoom and Houndoom and Persian kind of took over as being the higher ones. I think Houndoom's at like 70 something now too. But I mean, if you look right here, 6 months, it's starting to plateau, kind of like what I was talking about with Blood Moon. I think this one's going to start popping up again. You can just get it under 50. Um, this should start trending back upwards. It may take a couple more, I would say maybe 2 months, maybe three, to get back up to that 75, $80 range. But I think in the long run, this is probably going to be one of those cards, especially with Evolution, with Sylveon being in there, Prismatic coming out. It's probably going to be a good time to pick one up for cheaper. The last couple is Duskull and Dusknoir. These, I would say be careful, because I know these are huge playable cards right now. That I know for a fact. That's I know they were when they came out, and I feel like they still are. That's why you see a huge increase. Don't get me wrong, they are beautiful artworks. I don't even know if I'd say beautiful artworks. They're more like that cartoonish Game Boy feel, which I kind of do like. But I would be careful on these ones. Maybe just pick up an extra copy if you already have one, and that's about it. But this might be the top of the peak right now. I have a feeling this might kind of come down after a while, after about a month or two. Um, Obviously, Pikachu EX, this was hovering, I think, right around 30 after about a month or two. Then it kind of started to work its way up, topped off at about 40, and now it's kind of sitting steady at that 35 mark. Again, it is one of the four Pikachus in Surgeon Sparks. I believe it's a good pickup, at least to have a couple extra copies. And I think it's going to continue to trend upward. That's just me. Obviously, you guys know I am a little bit biased with Pikachu cards. But again, it's kind of like Vivid Voltage, except for it's four times. It's not going to be to the point where Vivid is, or where Surgeon is just going to drop out and nobody cares anymore, where kind of like Vivid was, because we still have the SIRs, we still have the alternate artworks that we love in Surgeon Sparks. But yeah, definitely would pick up Pikachu. Um, Next, Latios, another card that's hovering right at that $50 mark. I would pick this up. This is just me personally. I know it's been going up and down, up and down, up and down, but I have a feeling this is going to probably touch 75 within the next 3 months, 4 months. That's just, I mean, it's a beautiful artwork. Everybody loved the Lovebirds. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more that I can say other than this is probably another one of those hard cards where it's going to be kind of like the Raichu, Groudon, those type of cards where it's right in that average or middle average price point, and then it's just going to take off and keep going higher and higher. Plus, obviously, everybody knows the way that they started creating these illustration rares. They're harder to grade, being that the whole cart has that little hollow or the actual artwork hollow foil pattern. I can't speak right now. Um, but I know I just picked up a couple more. Probably going to pick up a few more after that. Um, but yeah, I see this card probably going to keep going up. I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if it touches 75 within the next 2, 3, 4 months. So, and then the last card that we're going to talk about is a sleeper that I don't know why everybody is sleeping on, because this artwork is insane. And then the new artwork in Prismatic is even crazier. Celdridge. Celdridge. Such an amazing card. So beautiful. And that's just, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Apparently there's just not enough data, which is insane. Why are we on moderately played? I wonder if I can filters. Let's go to near man. There we go. So it's starting to level off. This could actually come down a little bit more, which would be completely okay. Uh, Still doesn't get any, whatever. But yeah, obviously this is kind of when it came out, just in that November, December area. Well, October, November area. Starts to dip a little bit. It's going to plateau and it's going to start coming back up. That's just me. I mean, plus I think a lot of people are starting to make a celery or so Edge deck. I can't speak right now. My mouth is getting cotton. But yeah. So those are my picks for $50 cards and under. Well, I would say between the $25 and $50 range. Those are the cards that I'm looking for, especially to grade. I would say probably 80% of them I'm looking to grade. Um, But yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna have a little bit of different tastes. Everybody's gonna think a little bit differently. So obviously take that with a grain of salt. This is kind of how I look at it when I'm at my table, kind of what cards I can move. Obviously, playability is huge. I look for playable cards, but I also look for amazing artworks and cards that I think that are just kind of underrated and is gonna keep going up. Realistically, I mean, the well-known Pokemon, the favorites. I mean, evolutions, everything like that. You guys know, but yeah, just kind of what I look for when I'm at the tables. But we're gonna start this series now. Every Friday, we're gonna take a look at I would say every era. I don't know how far back we might go, just because when you start getting vintage, it's hard really to look at the market. The market doesn't shift too much as far as craziness. I would say probably maybe we'll go back to like 2005 era, maybe be the last era that we'll look at. But yeah, let me know what you guys kind of want to see. If you guys want to see another dollar amount, if you want to see certain eras, if you have any questions of what else I look for, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, stay tuned till Tuesday. We're gonna drop the $20 cards or $20 card Tuesdays. Help you guys out, kind of keep you for the ones that are on the budget that kind of want to look for those. The next cards that are on the rise. I'll show you the ones that I'm always looking for. So until next time.